I'm Liz, and today's behavior information session is going to be on a cat-cat conflict. Cat-cat conflict can be very difficult. Cats can be territorial. Cats have their own personalities, just like you or I. They don't always enjoy the company of others, or maybe it's just that cat that they don't like. Usually, you can be successful with any two animals as long as you go slowly and don't force the two animals on each other. You do a slow, deliberate, and appropriate introduction. So, for the sake of this video, we'll talk about how to introduce a cat to, your new cat to your resident cat. So, step one, set up a kind of a sanctuary room for your new cat. Something small with their litter box, their food, a comfy place to sit, enrichment, toys, treats, etc. Let your cat get used to that space first. So after about 3 days, and the numbers here are just a guideline. Every cat is going to be different. Some cats, this could take months. It could take years. Every animal is different. The numbers I'm throwing out, just general suggestions. If at the 3 days and you start to swap scents and stuff, you start to have a problem, then you need some more time. And cats move very slowly. You cannot go too slowly with cats. They don't like change, and they can be fickle. So, it's really, really important to take your time. I mean, everybody wants to just bring the cat home and set them in their living room and, everything's fine. That might not be the case, especially if you have another cat. After you've set up your sanctuary room and give them at least 3 days, let them hang out, get used to the noises of the house, and this is their space. Then you can start swapping bedding. So your resident cat's blanket with your new cat's blanket, and let them get used to the other's smell. Cats have a good sense of smell. Let them, learn about each other through that. Do this for another 3 days. Again, these numbers are just a suggestion. Then you can begin feeding them on opposite sides of a closed door. Make sure it's something really good. So if you feed your cat wet food, maybe give them each a little bit of wet food on either side of the door. And do that for about 3 days. And again, if you go past this point and it's not good, go back a step or two. Go slowly. I cannot stress enough that cats need time. Then you can start to set up a baby gate. Supervise them. You don't want to just say, here's a baby gate, they can hop over it and meet each other. That's going to defeat the purpose if they get in a fight. So, let them kind of get used to one another by feeding them on opposite sides of this baby gate. Make sure they can't climb over it and don't climb over it. You can play with them on opposite sides of this too. And again, try this for 3 days. Just a suggestion of time. It may take longer, and in some cases it will. Then you can start to have supervised time out for your new cat. Let your new cat out of their sanctuary room. Make sure they have access to that room. But they can go back in there if they choose, because that should be, their place to go and hide if they want, and see how it goes. If the cats fight, like a knockdown, drag out, fur flying, spitting, hissing, growling fight, start over. It's really important, to, just pick up from the beginning, because they've had a bad experience. You want them to get back to your new home and being a good place for them. So that is tips and tricks on how to introduce your new cat to your resident cat.